How's it going, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back. Welcome back. What's the word? Today, I got some more JJK Phantom Parade for you guys. We have two kit reviews we have to go over. The game's pretty dead right now on the global side of things, but a couple of units have dropped since I last made a video. We got Uraume, a green Anami, and a red Momo. So we're going to be going over all three of those characters that have dropped on the JP side of things, because as you know, we should get them at the global side sometime in the future, not sure when. I need to take a look at the JJK Phantom Parade official Twitter to get back on the roadmap and what events we have and what characters will be available to us. I've been slacking recently, but eventually I'll get back onto that. But today I just have a kit review of the three characters that were dropped since I last made a video. So first up we have Uraume. The art for them looks a badass, to be honest. I'm not really liking the face they're making in the artwork, but it looks really nice. Honestly, I love the blue coloring. Uraume has always been a character that looks good, like aesthetically, but this artwork looks really nice of them. It's a yellow unit, and it's actually coming to standard banner. That I did not know. I thought this was a limited time character. Okay. Yellow character, standard banner, SSR, as most of everything being released nowadays is. We hardly get SR characters being released, so only the good stuff, the cream of the crop. But I didn't know Uraume was coming to standard banner. That's good to know. So that might change my stance on whether I summon for them or not. Focus is Jujutsu, and it's a debuffer. Oh, that's cool. A yellow debuffer. Do we have any of those right now? Sukuna debuffs, but he's more of an attacker. Yaga, we have yellow Yaga and yellow Shoko. So Uraume would join that class of yellow debuffers, which is cool. Can't hit a black flash, has no characteristic, and then you have all the stats for all its stats basically. In Pokemon, these will be deemed as like your BST and stuff like that. So, skill 1. First thing I need to know, can this skill be changed? It doesn't look like that. Uraume doesn't have a change of skills, so all the skills that we see here would be final. So, at level 10, deals 150% melee Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. When freeze enhancement is level 3 or more, decreases the selected enemy's taijutsu stat by 15% for 3 turns. When freeze enhancement is level 5 or more, recovers own cursed energy by 5. So your standard typical skill 1, not really much going on here. What really intrigues me right now is the freeze enhancement. That's something that we've never had before, so that looks pretty cool. So I'm really wondering what this is. Maybe it's an auto skill or something. We'll learn about it as we go further down. Critical hit 40% and critical damage at 50%. Not bad, but it is just a skill 1. Not really gonna be using this unless you want to conserve like cursed energy and stuff like that. So on to the next skill. Also, skill 2 can change ice formation. Change that to level 10. Deals 125% range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, and its 2 hits increases the selected enemy's yellow type Jujutsu damage received by 10%. So it's a 10% debuff for yellow typing to the enemy, so your yellow attacks will be doing more once you use a skill 2. 10% isn't really much, to be honest, so you might be better off with using yellow Yaga. 40% critical rate and 50% critical damage. Let's see what happens when it changes. At level 10, when freeze enhancement is level 3 or more, deals 145% range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy for 2 hits, increases the selected enemy yellow type Jujutsu damage received by 20%. Okay, so that's a little bit better when it changes. I'm not sure how it would change, but at least when the skill changes, you get a higher buff. When DOT freeze is inflicted, also we have a not just freeze enhancement, but freeze itself. Okay, these an additional 199.9% range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, removes 1 DOT freeze, prioritize newest one, inflicts 30% Jujutsu damage DOT. What does DOT mean? They're using that a lot. Freeze to the selected enemy for 3 turns. Increases freeze enhancement level up by 1. So when the skill 2 changes, it automatically puts on freeze enhancement on the enemy. Not automatically, you have to use the skill obviously, but when the skill changes and you use it, it ups the freeze enhancement. So they keep on talking about freeze enhancement level 3, level 5, stuff like that. So I'm assuming it would be like, if you use it once, that's freeze enhancement level 1, use it a second time level 2, so on and so forth. I'm not really too sure what the DOT stuff is. I might have to look that up and get back later down in the video. So maybe I'll look that up off screen and I'll tell you guys what I find out. It takes 20 cursed energy, and skill 1 takes no cursed energy, as it should. Only Junpei's skill 1 takes like 5 cursed energy for some reason. Okay, so Frost Calm at level 10 deals 300% rage jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, inflicts 50% jujutsu damage DOT freeze to the selected enemy for 6 turns, increases the selected enemy's break damage received by 30%. That's a lot. Ooh, that's nice. Increases the freeze enhancement level by 3. Okay, so this ups the freeze enhancement level, which is cool. Critical at 40%, critical damage 50%, and skill 3 can change as well, so we're gonna check that out. When freeze enhancement level 5 or more, deals 400% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemies, to all enemies, sorry. So this is what you really want to stack the freeze enhancements for, to go for that skill 3 and get all that good damage. 400% is not that much considering the landscape of the game right now and all the illusory tower stages and how much HP they have and stuff like that, but at the same time 400% for a skill 3 is still pretty good. I won't sleep on it at all. It takes 30 cursed energy though. That's a lot. You'll have to stack your cursed energy a lot for this. Increases all enemies break damage received by 30%. That's really good as well. Increases freeze enhancement level by 3 to 20. So the freeze enhancement can go up to 20, and then you have the different skills that can up the freeze enhancement on your enemy by different levels. So skill 3 is level 3, and then the ultimate is called Ice Formation Ice Fall. Is 850% range jujutsu damage to all enemies for 6 hits. Ooh, that's really nice. The damage, I know characters can do a bit more, but that's still good damage for 6 hits. Inflicts 50% jujutsu damage DOT freeze to all enemies 6 turns. To enemies with 3 DOT freeze or more, there's an additional 400% range jujutsu damage. Ooh, that's okay. So you're stacking all these freezes and freeze enhancement for stuff like this for the ultimate. So you get 400% more off that. That brings you up to 1250. That's really good damage for debuffer especially, and inflicts additional 50% jujutsu damage DOT freeze for 6 turns. Increases freeze enhancement level by 5. Wow. Okay, so the ultimate does it by 5. And then you have the cooperative alt effects. 256 range jujutsu damage to all enemies, increases own and the allied combos. Increases own and the combo allied jujutsu stat by 30%. That's good. Fills all enemies ultimate gauge by 110, excluding self and combo ally. Percentages for the combo effect is awakening 5. Okay. Auto skill. Let's see what's going on with the auto skills. Reverse curse technique. At the start of battle, grants HP recovery special 1 time. At the start of battle. That's if I'm thinking correctly, start of battle means like as soon as you spawn in, which means why would you need to activate that? But anyway, let's read a bit more and then we'll see. If own HP is 70% or less, own curse energy is 20 or more, and HP recovery special is inflicted at the start of the turn. Recovers own HP by 20%. Remove HP recovery special, reactivated after 3 turns. Okay, so let me read that again. At the start of the battle, grants HP recovery 1 time. If own HP is 70% or less, so if you hit 30%, is like in Pokemon terms, if like you go into like Overgrow, Blaze, Torrent, stuff like that, own curse energy is 20 or more, An HP recovery special is inflicted at the start of the turn. So you're gonna inflict your recovery at the start of the turn, and you have 2 more conditions to meet just to recover your own HP by 20%. That's a bit lame on paper if you ask me. Remove HP recovery special reactivated after 3 turns. No, I mean it's cool you get it back after 3 turns, but all these conditions just to get back 20%, that's a bit I don't know how I feel about that. After reading that and Orome's skills, I kind of see why she's gonna be a part of I'm not sure of the gender. Please don't kill me in the comments. I think Orome is a guy, if I'm not mistaken, but they put her in the body of a girl. But regardless, anime likes to do that type of stuff, so I was trying to refer to them as there because I think the gender is ambiguous and I don't want to get punched in the face in the comments. So let's go to its other skill. Freeze enhancement. At the start of a battle, grants freeze immunity. At the start of turn, all effect can be overridden. Increases own jujutsu stat by 4.8%. Cannot be stacked. Effect can scale per freeze enhancement level up to a max of 30% with level 15. Read that again. Effect can scale per freeze enhancement level up to a maximum of 30% with 15. Okay, so that's referring to the increase of the jujutsu stat. Okay, so how much of a freeze enhancement levels you have on it, like the other skills were saying, once you use the skill, like the ultimate, it will go up by like 5 levels. So if you have 15 levels, so if you use the ultimate 3 times and you stack that, you get a 30% jujutsu damage buff. That's cool. Increase all enemies yellow type damage received by 30%. Ooh, okay, that's cracked. And that's an auto skill. Okay, I'm kind of seeing the merit to this now. By 30%, that's crazy just for spawning. Okay, that's really nice. Effect can scale per freeze enhancement level up to a maximum of 120% with level 10. That's insane, bro. 120% debuff just by spawning in, and if you put on the freeze enhancement, wow, that's crazy. Well, it's not just for spawning in, then you have to do the freeze enhancement, but that's still crazy, bro. So if you have an all yellow team, you could all yellow team Urome plus yellow Shoko plus Yaga plus like a DPS like Team Gojo or Sukuna. That would be a cracked team, bro. The amount of damage you would be getting off. Inflicts 30% jujutsu damage DOT freeze to all enemy. Level 1 to level 4, 1 DOT. Level 5 to 9, 2 DOTs. Level 10 to 14, 3 DOTs. Level 15, 4 DOTs. So I'm guessing this is like the freeze enhancement. So like the freeze enhancement, if you do level 1 to 4, that's 1. This is what I understand for it. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. 5 to 9, 2, 10 to 14, 3, and 15. 4 DOTs. Recovers own crest energy by 5, effective with level 15. Decreases freeze enhancement by 1. Decreases freeze enhancement level by 1 after the effect above are activated. Effective with level 10. Decreases freeze enhancement by 1 when receiving flame DOT. So that means like Sukuna and stuff like that. Okay. Overall impressions on Urome, not the craziest unit. I think this auto skill, the second one, I don't even know what it's called, but this one is crazy. 30% debuff, and you can debuff your enemies up to 120% just by having the freeze enhancement. That's a crazy auto skill. I really like that. I honestly see why they're gonna be in the standard banner. Not the craziest unit, but I think you could make it work. Like I said, a good debuffer at the slightest. If I had to give it a ranking, I would give it like B. I would give them B. Sorry. I'll give them like B. Not really in the A category of debuffers. That's like for yellow Shoko and stuff like that, but a really good debuffer at the very least. So on to the next unit. Okay guys, so next unit we're gonna be going over is Green Nanami. Now For a dead guy, Nanami sure does have a lot of units, let me tell you. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the anime here, but everybody should know what happens now. But for a dead guy, this guy has an insane amount of units. His artwork looks very similar to the blue unit that they released for him a while ago, except in this one he's standing up, whereas in the blue artwork he's like more so facing downward, leaning into the camera. I like the artwork. It's not anything spectacular, but I like the artwork. Rarity SSR, he is also going to be introduced to the standard banner, which that's crazy. I was hearing that this unit is in particular is pretty broken, so to see that he's going in the standard banner, pretty crazy in my opinion. But he's a mixed attacker. He's green type unit, so that would be the second green enemy that we have. So he's not focused on any curse technique or physical technique. He's an attacker as well, which is cool. We don't have much, I think all of them are attackers, to be honest. Some of them just suck, if I'm being real with you. I like Yellow Nanami. It would probably be my favorite out of all of them that we have right now. I don't have T Nanami, so not really sure how busted that unit is, but I heard it's a pretty good buffer. But let's get into the skills. So skill 1, ratio technique. Wow, his skill 1 is ratio. Deals melee mixed damage equal to 100% taijutsu and 100% jujutsu to the selected enemy. Increases own critical hit rate by 30%. That's pretty good. Nice and buff. Critical hit 40%, critical damage is 50%. Nice and simple. Okay, skill 2, continuous severing strike. Takes 20 cursed energy. That's a lot of cursed energy to be taken up. Increases own break damage by 50%. Jeez. Deals melee mixed damage equal to 195 taijutsu and 195 jujutsu to the selected enemy. 3 hits. That's really good. That's really good. For 20 cursed energy though, that's a lot. If own cursed energy is 60 or more, increase all green type allies damage up by 20%. Ooh, so that's an AoE buff. Okay, so you just have to conserve your cursed energy. When you have skills totally 20 cursed energy, that's gonna be pretty tough. You're gonna have to be spamming your skill 1 so you could get that type of buff. So he fits on an all green team. Critical rate is 40%, critical damage is 50%. Really nice skill too, honestly. Ratio technique collapse. Ooh, okay. This has a lot to it. 35 cursed energy. Jeez. I'm assuming he has the overtime auto skill like the rest of them do. So you have to wait like 7 or 8 turns for that to kick in. Deals range mixed damage equal to 150 taijutsu and 150 jujutsu to all enemies. 3 hits, critical rate is very high, so you're gonna be getting those hits, especially after using your skill 1 and stuff like that. With more cursed energy, increase the damage further up to 120% of the original effect with 60 cursed energy. Read that again. With more cursed energy, increase the damage further up to 120% of the original effect with 60. So once you hit 60 cursed energy and you use this, your damage becomes 120% stronger. Is that of the original effect? Okay. So instead of 150, it will be 270. Okay, that's pretty good. Max damage output, skill level 10. Makes damage 330 taijutsu and 330 jujutsu. Stop all enemies' actions. 1 turn chance 20%. So you have a 20% to do this stop thing, which is basically another word for stun in this case, because Yuta has it with his skill 1 after he uses his ultimate. If own curse energy is 60 or more, increase all green type allies damage up by 20%, just like his last skill. So the main thing you want to do with Nanami, it seems like, is just get his cursed energy over 60. Once you get his cursed energy over 60, you'll be buffing your green teams, doing all types of good shit with them. If target is a formidable foe, increases their break damage received by 20%. So that's pretty good. Not a lot, but it's pretty good for three turns. Critical rate is 40, critical damage is 50%. Ultimate, you've prepared yourself, right? Okay, let's see what this does. It's a lot of information here. Jesus. Increases own break damage by 100%. That's a lot. One turn, one time. Deals melee mix damage equal to 360 taijutsu and 360 jujutsu to the selected enemy. 3 hits. Critical rate is very high. I said very high, just high. With more cursed energy, increase the damage further up to 150% of the original effect with 60 cursed energy. So like I was saying, you just wanna get Nanami's curse. Why am I spacing out? I want to called cursed energy above 60. Max damage output, skill level 10, mixed damage of 900 taijutsu and 900 jujutsu. Wow, that's pretty good damage, especially after buffing yourself and stuff like that. Decreases the selected enemy's critical hit resistance by 20% for 3 turns. Increases the selected enemy's green type damage received by 10%. So he also debuffs? Okay, that's cool. Too bad you have to get your ultimate to debuff by 10%. That's I guess it's just an additional effect, so it doesn't mean that much. If one cursed energy is 60 or more, increase all green type allies damage up by 25%. So all of his skills, aside from his skill 1, increases the damage dealt of your green team by some amount. You just have to get the cursed energy over 60 or more, which is cool. That's a cool niche for Nanami. Co-op ultimate. Most of them are pretty much the same, so I don't think I'll just go over that one. Okay, so other skills. Persevere grants revival status at the start of battle. Oh, that's cool as hell. So you have to kill him twice. That's cool. Revival status persevere decreases all maximum HP by 20%. Turns cannot be cancelled. 5 turns cannot be cancelled. So is it every turn for 5 turns you decrease it by 40%, or at the end of 5 turns you decrease it by 20%? I said 40 just now. But is it at the end of 5 turns the accumulative damage would equal to 20%? Attracts enemy attacks to self 3 turns. Oh, that sucks. Decreases own damage received by 30%. Oh, okay, that's good. Increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 10%. Both for 5 turns. Okay. And he attracts enemy attacks to himself only for 3 turns. Okay. That's pretty cool. For a revival stat though, with all these conditions, it's still good. I won't hate. That's pretty good. Overtime, I don't know what overtime does. It's the 90th. It's the 9th turn. 90th? It's the 9th turn. Covers own cursed energy by 60 bypass limit. Increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 50% and recovers own ultimate gauge by 1000. That's really nice. That's really nice. After overtime work has applied, decrease own damage received by 10% at the start of the turn for 1 turn. With each turn pass, increase damage reduction by 1% up to 30%. Okay, that's good. I didn't know overtime does all that, but maybe that's overtime specific to this one. He has a counter status. Oh, that's sick. I love anybody with a counter status, even though they hardly ever work. You gotta get really lucky, but I love anybody with a counter status. Counter ratio technique grants counter status at the start of battle. Counter certain chance to activate 1 time per turn. These melee mix equal to 75% taijutsu and 75% jujutsu to the enemy who attempts to perform a melee attack. It's always a melee attack. Is there anybody who could counter jujutsu? Kusakabe can, I think, if I remember correctly. Kusakabe can, but it's mostly always melee attacks. Increase own critical hit rate by 15%. Increase all green type allies damage dealt by 10%. Okay, that's cool. He has so many auto skills. Jesus. Critical hit enhancement. When a critical hit or black flash are performed one time in 1 turn, increases own critical hit rate, taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 20%. Pretty good. Nice. Zone outburst. When a black flash is performed, increases own black flash rate by 45% for 4 turns that can't be stacked. Increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 30%. 4 turns and that can't be stacked. Either recovers own cursed energy by 5. 4 turns cannot be stacked. Recovers own cursed energy by 10. So just hitting a black flash gets you all this. That's sick. I'm starting to not understand why he's a standard banner unit. This is a really nice unit. I adhere to the facts and judge accordingly. At the start of the turn, increases own ultimate charging rate by 6.5%. So he gets his ultimate quicker. That's cool. With more Jujutsu High official in the wave, increases the effect further up to 20% with 4 characters. So you can buff his ultimate gauge how fast he gets his ultimate by just having other faculty staff on the field with Nanami. That's cool. Increases own black flash rate by 5% one turn. With more Tokyo Jujutsu High Year 1 in the wave, increases the effect further, up to 15% with one character. So if you put if you put Green Itadori on a team with him, it increases his black flash rate by 5%. That's cool. This guy's auto skills are insane. He has so many of them. The skills themselves are insane as well, with all the after effects and stuff that they have. I'm really curious as to why he's a standard banner unit. Is this situation similar to like Toji, where they just want to give us something nice, or they feel like they could power creep this unit? Because this unit, I really dig this unit. I think it's better than Urarome. You don't really have to stack anything in this case. A lot of these effects just come out at the result of getting 60 cursed energy with Nanami. I love this unit already. Can't wait to get it on global. On to the last unit. Okay, boys and girls, last unit we're going to be talking about today is Momo. We got a new red Momo, who is also going to be on the standard banner. Wow, everybody's going to be on the standard banner. This will be Momo's second SSR unit, if I'm not mistaken. This time is going to be a red unit. Pretty cool. Support, of course, because she does not much else. Kyoto Jujutsu High Year 3. I didn't know she was a Year 3 student. If I saw it in the anime, I just completely forgot, because she's not really a character that's showcased often. Obviously, she can't hit a black flash, no characteristic, and then you have all her stats right here. I wonder how she's gonna buff the red squad. Let's see what's going on. Heals skill 1, sorry. Wind Slash. Deals 100% raised Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, increases the selected enemy's red type damage received by 15% for 2 turns, recovers own cursed energy by 15%. Not too bad, simple enough. 40% crit rate, 50% critical damage. Second skill 2 is Whirlwind. Deals 160 range Jujutsu damage to all enemies for 4 hits. This is if you get these skills to level 10. I just bump all of them up to level 10. 160 range Jujutsu damage to all enemies, 4 hits. Stun all enemies 2 turns 1 time, chance 100%. Really? Oh, that's sick. So you get the guaranteed stun. Obviously, it's probably gonna be like something like Inumaki's stun, where the rate might say like 100% and what's not, but I don't think it'll stun you every single time. And it's only for 20 cursed energy. That's crazy. Inflicts darkness to all enemies, 1 turn, chance 100%. Grants 1 reconnaissance to self. Reconnaissance is one of the skills that a blue one has. It buffs like critical hit rates and stuff like that. If stun or darkness fails to apply, grants 2 reconnaissance to self. Increase all red type allies taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 65%. That's insane. That's a nice buff. Good shit, Momo. If they can't do anything else with you, they know how to make you useful for buffing, guys. Skill 3 is Squall, 25 cursed energy. Deals 400% range jujutsu damage to all enemies for 2 hits. That's a lot of damage for Momo. Increases all enemies break damage received by 25. Increases all red type damage received by 25. That's good too. 2 reconnaissance to self. Evades enemy attack 2 turns 1 time. That's a good skill. For 25 cursed energy, that's nice. And then the ultimate is called Wind Sight. Deals 900% range jujutsu damage to all enemies for 2 hits. Sorry, increases all enemies break damage received by 25% for 2 turns. Grants 2 reconnaissance to self. Evades enemy attack 2 turns 1 time. Increases all red type ally taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 65%. That's nice. That's really nice. 65 is a big buff to everybody for 3 turns. The red units all have like broken stuff attached to them, either with Toji, Yuta, stuff like that. And imagine having a buffer of this caliber buffing you by 65%. Imagine doing that and getting off Yuta's ultimate. That's crazy. What other skills do you have? Oh, you actually have auto skills, because the last one doesn't really. information sharing. At the start of a wave, remove all stacks of reconnaissance and buff applied to red type allies through information sharing. Grants 1 reconnaissance to self after the effect above applied. At the start of a turn, red type allies increases taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 2.72% information sharing with 1 stack of reconnaissance. Each stack of reconnaissance increases an additional stat by 0.72% up to 20% with 25 stacks of reconnaissance. Okay, I was wondering what the reconnaissance stuff is all about, and now I got my answer. Increases break damage by 50% with 3 stacks of reconnaissance. Increases ultimate charging rate by 10% with 7 stacks of reconnaissance. So the more you stack reconnaissance, the better this Momo is. Pretty good. Grants evasion to self, information sharing, 0 to 2 stacks of reconnaissance, chance 20%, 1 time 1 turn, 3 to 6 stacks of reconnaissance, chance 25%, 1 turn, 7 stacks of reconnaissance, 30% chance. So 7% plus is what you want to go for, so you can evade those attacks. Evasion enhancement. After evading an enemy's attack 1 time per turn, recovers own cursed energy by 10%. Oh, that's a really nice thing to tap into after doing the reconnaissance buffs and all that. And yeah, that's gonna be the kit reviews for the 3 units we should be expecting soon. I'm not super excited for any of them, and since all of them are gonna be released on the standard banner, I don't know if I'm gonna waste cubes on them. The one that might tempt me the most would be Momo, because I'm in need of a really good red buffer right now since I don't have T Nanami, and I'm stuck on floor 68 of Illusory Tower, so I really need a good red buffer that could like stun and stuff like that. Her skill 2 would be great for that. She would apply darkness and stuff. So if I had to rank them, I would say someone for Momo, second would be Nanami, and last would be Urome. Sorry, Urome. They didn't give you any busted shit this time around, but I'm sure when you get another unit, you'll be broken. That's typically how it goes. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you. It really does mean the world to me. Hit the like button, subscribe if this is your type of thing. I'm going to be dropping all different types of videos throughout the year. JJK, Fountain Parade, Pokemon, Sparking Zero, all types of videos, so stay tuned for those. But with all that being said, I'm gonna get up out. Thank you so much for watching again. Goodbye and good night. Bang. Deuces.